Hi everybody, I'm Eric. Welcome back to another Zombie Survival Tips video. I just want to break down the first stages of the zombie apocalypse and kind of talk in brief how it's going to happen and play out. So if it happens, it's going to start off in probably a populated area because we don't know if it's going to be an enemy attack or just a chemical that got released into the air. We don't know. So let's say it happens in a populated area. Okay, the government and the police are going to get called to the location. They don't know what they're going to deal with, so they don't know what's going on. And then it's going to escalate. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to panic, kind of like with the pandemic that's going on right now. And what's going to happen is they're going to file paperwork, take them to the hospital because they're going to see, probably like scratches or bite marks, however it's going to work, and they're going to try to get the medical attention. Now, with that, they don't know what's going on, so they're going to do testing because the guy's going to get, or her is going to get sick, and they're going to make sure it's not nothing like really, really bad. But with this disease that is going to affect and make the person mutate into a zombie, that's not going to be in any file system ever because everybody thought it's not going to happen. So in the first stages, it's going to happen in a populated area. That one person is going to get it. It's going to transition to another. Now that person might get away, and another person might go to a hospital. So that person is now in the hospital, and it's going to affect the doctors, the nurses, because then the nurse or a doctor might get bit. They're going to try to figure out what's going on, and now everybody's in mass hysteria. Okay, so what's going to happen is everybody's going to start looting, rioting. People's going to start, fending for themselves, and it's going to try to fall under martial law, and that's not going to work. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to rebel and kind of disobey the law, and that's how that's just going to be. So what's going to happen is the police is going to get caught up to the line of defense to try to fight what's going on, because at this time it's only going to affect that city, so the whole city's just going to get shut off. It's going to be under lockdown, and from there it's going to go to the doctors getting bit, to the police officers, and then pretty soon they're not going to be able to maintain the outbreak, so they're going to bring in the what is it called, National Guard. The National Guard is going to try to contain it, but they think that they can and get it under control. And from there, they're going to start making plea deals with people that's in jail. And this is my own personal opinion on how it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen this way, but that's how it's going to happen. They're going to make plea deals with people in jail and prison. Be like, if you help us, we're going to reduce your sentencing, because they're not going to oblige and kill, like massacre every police and military. That's not going to happen. They're going to send people out there that already threw their lives away. So they're going to rely on the people that's in jail and prison. They're going to make them a plea deal and be like, if you can help us defeat this, we'll, help you get out of jail or prison a lot quicker than what your sentence says it's going to be. So what's going to happen is they're going to rely on them. And then they're going to realize that it's not going to happen. It's going to spread. Because at this point, we don't know if it's just airborne or if everybody has it or what. So people are going to start leaving, trying to flee the cities, and it's going to get spread through that way. But in my own opinion, the most people that's going to be vulnerable is the first line of defense of the police, the medical attention, and then it's going to be the people in nursing homes, hospitals, because they're going to have to relocate everybody and do a certain amount of testing and all of that. So the very first stages of the zombie apocalypse is going to be very difficult, and it's going to be very difficult to get supplies because everything is going to be ran out, everything. Kind of just what we've seen with the coronavirus. And now we don't know what kind of zombies we're going to deal with. It could be anything. It could be a slow walking zombie compared to The Walking Dead. It could be a very hostile from 21 Days Later, or it could be hostile and run really fast, like how we see in World War Z. You know, there's all these zombie specialists and survival enthusiasts that say that, you know, that we have the best tips. And yeah, you might have good tips to order to survive for a certain amount of time, but however, we don't know what we're dealing with at the end of the day. It's just science fiction. And I'm not saying that the tips are bad. I'm just saying at the end of the day, we have no idea. We're just going based on what the idea that we have presented. So that's really it. But on my perspective, that's how the first stages of the zombie apocalypse is going to happen. The best thing I can say is at the very sighting or hearing of something like that, just get out of the city, go somewhere else, go into a little more condensed area where there's not a lot of population. Now, however, there are people that have secret bunkers, and you might not know about those. So those people will be safe. But however, not a lot of people know that most cities have tornado shelters, and tornado shelters have survival food and water and supplies and blankets and all of that to last in a bunker for up to 72 hours. So you can have that to rely on, because not a lot of people know about that. Almost every city has it. You can go around in your local cities, just spot them out, get a map, you know, pinpoint everything, make it fine down to the very little T, so you know that when something happens, you will be prepared, your family will be prepared, and at the end of the day, that all you want is to keep the people you love safe. You got to have a strategy, and you got to have a plan. You got to have the executed plan. That way, when something happens, you can fulfill with that. But don't tell people, because if people realize you have a plan, they're going to try to take what you want or take what you got. A lot of survival enthusiasts, or anybody that you even think of talking to about anything like that, or whether it's a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion, the very first place that they're going to say is that they're going to go to a store. Okay? Everybody in the world is going to go to a store. There's gonna be people there that's gonna not care and kill you, your children, everybody you care about, because they want the product that you just took. And keep in this mind, the police are already busy handling with the violence outside, so they're not worried about that. It's just something to think about. Prepare, and remember that the very first stages is going to be difficult. It's going to be at least about 6 months that it's going to be hard. And the very first line of defense is going to be the police officers. It's going to be the medical attention. It's going to be the firefighters. It's going to be the doctors, nurses. And then the martial law is going to kick in, and the military is going to come into play. And then they're not going to sacrifice them. So they're going to ask the people in jail, hey, we'll reduce your jail sentence if you help us, like take care of the situation. It's exactly what's going to happen. And then from there, it's going to be the people at the hospitals that's already in the hospitals, and it's going to be the elderly, and then it's going to be the people that's on medication, because of diabetes or high blood pressure. There's nobody around to help make that product. And then it's going to be the people that take medication because they have multiple personalities, and those are the people that you're going to have to be aware for, because them are the people that's going to be the most try to dictate everybody. They're going to be the dictators in the zombie apocalypse because they're not on their medication. And then you got to think about the people that have depression. They're not going to be able to handle the loss of their loved ones, so they're just going to commit suicide, and then it's going to affect everybody around them. And that's just how that's going to be. But take this with a grain of salt. You could take it and run with it. You could, put it in your little survival guide. I don't care. But that's my tip for you today. Comment this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And remember, you are now one closer to surviving the zombie apocalypse. Have a great day.